Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Superman 29. Like, let's just get down to business. Superman 29 is the elephant in the room book. Like, just don't. I mean, if anybody read it, spoilers for Superman 29. But, you know, Superman 29 is supposed to be the new frontier of the DC comic book universe. Like, we've never heard that before. Oh, God. But anyway, basically, the book is basically Superman and Jon going around saving the day. Jon monologuing. I think it's Jon. I'm not for sure because of how everything's going or whatever. But basically, you know, going around monologuing about how, you know, when kids see their parents, they're superheroes. They're, you know, almost immortal to them or whatever and stuff like that. But when you see your parents get hurt, that, you know, changes and that makes you worried or whatever. And, you know, it's basically Superman, you know, going around saving the day, trying to stop this dimensional rift that looked like Amanda Waller done opened up. And Jon's worried about, you know, the fact that his dad is going to die because he's been in the 30th century and he knows everything. He knows so much stuff that it worries him every day to constantly see his father out there saving the day, doing his job. And he's worried for him. And this right here gets me to be like, this is the elephant in the room that, you know, DC refused to talk about, refused to acknowledge. They're acknowledging it now, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, but what are you going to do with it? Because to be honest, what you're really, you know, talking about is basically what most fans, you know, been asking. De-age Jon Kent. Jon Kent should have never went to the future. Jon Kent shouldn't know this much stuff. I mean, you have Superman want to play, you know, cone ball with him. And, you know, because Jon is 17 and stuff like that, you know, Clark and Lois missed out on raising their son. And I don't think, you know, DC understands how weird and how disrespectful that is to Superman as a character to, you know, strip him of his son, force aged up him, then you screw him up into the future. And Superman and Lois, you know, never really got to raise their son for only 10 years, and that's it. They never had his first of certain things in life, or he never really got a chance to fully embrace himself as a 10-year-old character, because as soon as he was introduced, 10 years, you gave us, what, a couple of years, and then Brian Michael Bendis shipped him off. And then he becomes older, and then he gets shipped off into the future. That's not that long. The character was literally came in 2016. It's 2021. All of that story that you could have told. All that story you could have told. You don't even age up Damian Wayne, and he's been out longer than Jon Kent. But you aged up you aged up Jon when you already had Connor Kent as the teenage Superboy. If you really needed a Superboy, that's teenager. Because like it or not, Connor Kent is the son of Superman and Lex. No matter what anybody talking about, oh, it's cloning and all that kind of nonsense. Look. His DNA is half Clark's, half Luthor. Guess what that means? He is their son, not a goddamn clone. Just like Laura Kennedy from X-23 is not a clone. They're not a clone. A clone is an exact duplicate of a person. This is an exact duplicate. This is literally Lex Luthor, Clark Kent's DNA got together. Bam, there's their son. As weird as it is, that is still their child. And instead of trying to treat it as like some younger brother, older brother mentality or whatever, stuff like that, Superman needs to be treating Connor Kent better than that, because he was raised better than that. And on top of that, that is still his son. That is still his son, no matter how you want to look at it. But this whole thing with Jon Kent just kind of be like, look, DC, pull the cord, pull the plug, put the boy out of his misery. De-age Jon Kent. Get away from this Legion of Superhero nonsense. De-age this child right now. And let's go back to starting some good stories with him learning lessons. Let him forget everything. It's because it's the same thing when you did the Nightwing thing with Chris Kent. When Christopher Kent came along, you brought him He was a child or whatever. He had the avatar of the Nightwing. Him and Flamebird connected. He aged up. He became a young adult or whatever and stuff like that. And then after he used his powers, and after he was, he completed his task, he became a child again. Him and Mon-El, went to go and look for Lois and Clark so they can return home. Then you rebooted the continuity, and we never saw Christopher Kent until we got to DC Rebirth, I believe. And then you kind of made him this evil version of Jon Kent. And you couldn't even keep that around, where that could have been a constant, threat for Superboy Jon Kent to deal with a evil little child version of himself who has the same abilities. You couldn't even be bothered to do that. Or you couldn't even be bothered bringing Christopher Kent back to Lois and Clark, because Lois and Clark had a positive influence on him and stuff like that, to have a character that was made to hate Clark, but instead falls in love with Clark and Lois and have a family with him. Be a family with them. That could have been even better, but no, you had to do this nonsense. And just reading, Superman 29 is just basically like, so what you're basically saying is that Jon's been through hell and back, knows so much about the future, and knows when his father's going to die, and he's worried about his dad, and his dad is a hero. He's always going to be a hero, and he can't handle the fact that his dad is about to die, apparently, even though we know he's not about to die. But we got to be all dramatic and stuff about it, because we have to come up with a storyline like this to make it interesting. But the fact of the matter is, this is the big elephant in the room, DC, that you need to resolve. De-age the boy. De-age the boy, make him lose his memories of everything. He shouldn't know anything. He was born on multiple he was born on alternate not an alternate place. He was born on New Earth, the DC comic books before the New 52, which we should have stayed on that instead of this nonsense that we got now. But that's nor then nor there. But then he gets pulled into this time thing with his parents. Then they end up on the New 52 timeline. Then they live for all the way until, the New 52 Superman's death. Then they assume the, positions of Clark and Superman and stuff like that. Then Mixlid took our Lois and Clark from from New Earth, and merged their histories and memories with the New 52 one to make some kind of coherent thing or whatever and stuff like that. Then Doomsday Clock erased the New 52 stuff of Superman and just kept it like it's been the New Earth version post-crisis Superman this whole time, with the little tweaks and changes or whatever and stuff like that. And you see how crazy that is? The boy been through hell and back, and then you had his grandfather who was mind controlled by Dr. Manhattan, which you never let that storyline get finished. Then Jor-El comes out of nowhere, takes Jon and Lois. Lois abandons her son in space with the grandfather. The grandfather and Jon got separated. Jon got tortured by his alternate reality mother and father from Earth 3, the crime syndicate of America. Finally escapes. Now he's 17, and he's only been gone for a few weeks in our timeline. Do you hear how stupid that is? And you didn't even do anything interesting with that. You really didn't even do anything interesting with that. That went nowhere. That literally went nowhere. Besides, Jon Kent now is going to be part of the Legion of Superheroes. And that still went nowhere neither. So what was the purpose? And then you got Spectre talking about he's the most dangerous character because of how abnormality he is. Well, when you keep messing up characters for no reason, your Jon Kent, your Wally West, your Nightwing, your Kyle Rayner, your Donna Troy, your whole Titans, to be honest, your Young Justice. Things tend to kind of screw up with these characters. And this is one of the little things. Because basically, what are we saying in Superman 29? That if Superman continues to fight this abnormality creature and stuff like that, he will die, and Jon will have to take his place and step up. But Jon's not ready to lose his father. But he already knows that Superman's not going to give up, because he's seen the future. So he knows so much. I mean, that's basically the story. I'm just really letting you know. Like, it's a good summary. But the thing about it is, what are we going to do about this? What is the point of bringing this up? Because at this point, you need to resolve this Jon thing. And I think the best thing to do right now is to de-age him. Make up some villain if you need to. Make up some character who drains his youth or something like that, or whatever, and stuff like that. They also take away his memories or something. But de-age the character, because not only did you destroy Jon Kent while you was at it, you destroyed the character development that was given for Damian. And yes, everybody be like, well, you got the adventures of the Super Sons and stuff like that. I mean, Challenge of the Super Sons. But it's just like, we could have still been having that. That could have been a main continuity timeline book. Why take it? Why do that in between, you know, the time that we already know that Jon's going to grow up? Because it was canceled. It was forced out of nowhere just to bring in this teen Jon, who isn't likable enough, who was stupid in Future State, who's stupid now, who was stupid in Legion of Superheroes. Like, what are we doing with the character? The character isn't good. It is not good. It's not good quality. It feels like we're going through the same nonsense with these legacy characters. You guys always want to try to bring in new characters or whatever, or try to reinvent the wheel by trying to bring in diverse versions of these classical characters. But you screw them up, and then you screw up characters who are literally the direct descendants of these characters. You kill them off, you make them murderers, you keep destroying their family. They always have issues or whatever and junk like that. Nothing ever goes their way. They're miserable. They die. You know, they get retconned out of existence. How many more times are we going to keep doing the same thing? At this point, retcon Jon out of continuity. Just retcon them out of continuity so it never happens, because that will be better than what you're giving me. I'm just saying, DC, make a choice. But yeah, I mean, Superman 29, it wasn't a bad story, but it's just like, so we're not going to talk about the elephant in the room. We're still not going to talk about the elephant in the room, DC. Okay, all right. I hope this arc does do something. At this point, before the end of 2021, Jon Kent needs to be 10 years old at this point. It's okay, de-age him. We're good. We already got a teenage Superboy. That's Connor Kent. Let's use that and just get rid of this character. It's not working. It's just not working. It's not the fans. It's you, DC, at this point. It's not us. It's you. And you're trying to make this a thing. It's like Fetch. You're trying to make Fetch happen. You're trying to make Jon Kent happen as a 17-year-old. And it's not working. It's not vibing well with people. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.